Hello everybody, this is Lorenzo, K8NKZ, and today we're going to show you how to build something and go from this to this, all for almost free. So today we're going to build an antenna for your HD, and in specific, I'm going to be doing this for a Baofeng UV5R. So you got this radio, you got your call sign, you got everything else, and you tried it out with stock antenna, and you quickly found that you can only get a handful of miles out of it, maybe 5 or 6 at the most. And now you're ready to get a different antenna. Well, today we're going to show you how to make your own out of your stock antenna, or you could just buy an SMA connector and do this as well. But for price sakes, we're gonna be cutting apart this stock antenna I have here today. Let's get started. So here are the things you will need for this. You'll need solder and utility knife like this one, sharper the better. A pair of wire cutters, wire strippers, such as these, and you're gonna want a piece of wire that is 19.5 inches long. And there's a debate of whether you should use solid core or stranded core. I personally believe solid core is going to be better for this. One, because it structurally supports itself already, and it'll be a little bit easier to solder. Also, the thicker the wire is going to help you out, because when you have a thicker wire, the antenna becomes more broadbanded and will perform better over a wider range of frequencies. So this is I decided to go with 14 gauge solid core wire. So that's what I'll be using today. You'll need some form of an SMA adapter if you're using a Baofeng, but you're gonna need to have whatever connector you're planning on using. You're gonna have to have a form of that to solder with and build. I'm personally gonna be cutting up this old stock antenna that I have here for that, and harvesting the SMA connector out of it. So you're also gonna need a soldering iron as well. Let's get started. So if you're doing the route I did, and you got a Baofeng and you're gonna take the antenna apart, here's what you do, or the stock antenna anyways. You could technically do this with an aftermarket antenna, but cost effectively and using old materials, I'm just gonna use the stock antenna. So if you're doing what I'm doing, you're gonna cut right here at the base of the antenna. Just cut that right off. All right. So you can see in here, if you care to look, there's part of the old center conductor of the antenna. You don't need that. Just set that aside to be later put in the trash. Now we're gonna cut a little bit farther down, about here. And we're about to be at the center conductor of the connector. So take your utility blade, and you're going to want to slice the rubber here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Rubber's not too tough on these old antennas. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the antenna that you make out of it. And if you're new here, or I guess everybody's new here, because this will be the first video on this channel, please like and subscribe, because there will be many many other useful videos coming in the future of stuff you can make for your radio at home, and what are some good and easy ways to boost your signal, I guess, with an HT. And we will be getting into base stations and stuff later. Just trying to think of some ideas. If there's any questions or things you'd like me to try and cover as a topic, please go ahead and let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. And I just want to help the ham community out here. My videos are mostly going to be angled more towards the beginners in the hobby, because I'm trying to learn as well. And also, if you got any advice for me, please leave it in the comments below. These things to me a pain. I'll just skip to one once I get it apart. So after a bit more cutting, I got this out of here, at the bottom of the antenna. This is what it used to look like, and this used to be in the bottom. This would be the part that you screw on to your radio. So now, there's a few things we're gonna have to cut away from here. There's some coil windings around here that we're gonna go ahead and cut off of this anyways. For all you guys that are just trying to, or just buy your own connectors and bought a new one, this might be a little bit boring to you, and you can probably skip ahead in the video a good bit of the ways, because I'll just be demonstrating what I do here. Actually, don't skip ahead too far, because we're about to be soldering together, and we'll do some we'll see if we can get anybody on the local repeaters here that can give us some signal checks, because I got one other stock antenna that you would get on a Baofeng that we're gonna go ahead and try on the local repeaters here, see what kind of performance you get. And in a minute I'll explain why this is also a dual band antenna as well, and why it works for dual band. It's specific 2 meter and 70 centimeters. Alright, so I got all the junk off of here, and now this is what you would end up getting if you just bought an SMA connector or any other type of connector. You'd get this. It wouldn't have much on it. It'd just be something that screws into your radio. So now, as you can see here, this end is the end that I would screw into my radio, or if you have a Baofeng, yours too. But this is a SMA connector in specific. Might be a little bit different for like a BNC or some other type of connector that you'd have on your HT. So now, this brass part here is going to be your center connector, and that's where we're going to be soldering to. Keep in mind, this will work for any other radio too. So just figure out where that center conductor is on your connector. And I'm going to show you a little trick here of soldering with connectors and soldering in general. So here's a little trick to do when you're soldering. You can do this all different ways too. Is you take a pair of pliers such as these ones, and in this case, our connector, and you want to close these up, or at least enough where it'll hold object you're soldering in. It might work better if I use the wire cutter side, or not the wire cutter side, the stripping side of these. There we go. Could be a little bit tighter, but it's all right as long as it holds it and it allows me to solder. Now let's get on to soldering. Always be careful of what your soldering iron is touching while you're waiting for it to warm up. I've had many instances where it's burned stuff and messed stuff up because I wasn't being careful. Don't make mistakes like me. I always try not to, and if you do, learn from them. It's the most important thing of making mistakes, is making sure you learn from them. Try not to do it again. So once you got your wire, also, before we start soldering it here, make sure you strip, oh, it's probably about a quarter of an inch. I stripped it off of there to go in this SMA connector. Make sure you strip some off. You wouldn't want to be soldering in a full insulated piece of wire. Might not work out so well for you. All right, so my iron's hot enough. Tightened up those wire cutters a little bit. Now, here's what we're gonna do. In the case of this SMA connector, and probably most other connectors, you're gonna wanna take your solder, and in this case, the SMA connector is kind of like a cup. So and even if you don't have an SMA connector, you're gonna wanna at least tin whatever you're gonna be soldering. That way it's easier to stick stuff to later. All right, that's full of solder now. So now we're gonna take this, our 19.5 inch long piece of wire here, and we're gonna reheat up. Let me push that over a little bit. Reheat up the solder, melt it that we just put in there. Take a second. Don't mind me. For my solder. Roll that in there a little bit. There we go. Now, whoops. See, folks, this is why you tighten up your pliers. And imagine how hard this would be without using a little trick I showed you. You have to have a third hand. One other person. But then you'd have to coordinate them. Might be easier to have a third hand. Alright, so just get that all melted in there. Okay. That's the thing about these SMA connectors. It can be a bit of a pain to get everything soldered correctly. There we go. So now we're just gonna wait for that to dry. Now we've got our piece soldered. Solder gun safety. Always set it on the ground and unplug it. And keep it in a spot where you're not gonna step on it. Move that over there a little bit. So let's get into some of the science behind why it works as a dual band antenna. See, I got connector all soldered up there. And the science is, if you take 2 meters, which is one of the bands that we say we're going to operate on with this antenna, take 2 meters and divide that by 4, we roughly get 19.6 inches. So we cut this to 19.5 as a just a tad bit shorter, but it's easier to cut to, and it's not going to make that much of a difference. So now you're asking here, why does that matter? Well, if you divide 2 meters divide by 4 and take 19.5, we've essentially made a quarter wave antenna for 2 meters, which is going to work well for us with our HT. But now you're probably asking, well, Lorenzo, K8 and KZ, you said it's a dual band antenna. Yes, I did. This works on 70 centimeters as well, and here's the science behind that. If we take 2 meters and divide that by 4, and then we times the number we get from that by 3, we get roughly 18 inches. So that gives us a 3/4 wave 70 centimeter antenna, which is resonant, which copper is resonant. It is a resonant antenna. So essentially we've made an antenna here that can operate on both bands, 2 meter and 70 centimeter, because this is close enough to 18 inches that makes it resonant on 70 centimeters. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take remember the part I cut off of the antenna at the base where the connector was? Well, we're just gonna take that and slide it right on over to protect our connections here, and that works just fine. So now let's get into some testing. So we have here another stock antenna that I had laying around. Yes, I have many stock antennas because I asked my friends to give them to me because I can harvest the SMA connectors out of them. But here we have another stock antenna from my Baofeng UV5R, which is just a tad bit different than the one we cut up. Some of them have this one, some of them have the other one. But functionally, they're exactly the same. They're only different cosmetically. There's been many tests out there on YouTube that prove this, and you can go look them up if you don't believe me. So, I have here my Baofeng UV5R. Let's attach this antenna here. And I am currently facing towards the north. That's north, south, east, and west. So, the first repeater we're going to try is it's N8. The call sign is November 8, Weimer Bravo Victor, N8 LVV, and it is 4.6 miles. Looks like it's 4.6 miles east of here, so it's going to be that way. We're going to be standing in the exact same spot right here for all the antenna tests. I just have all the repeaters in the test here written down, so just going to set that up here. I have terrible handwriting, so it's sometimes hard for me to read my own stuff. All right, so NLBV, this is a 70 centimeter repeater. I happen to know it's over 300 feet above ground level, the antenna is. It's hard to see here, but the frequency is 443.050. Here, let's give it a try. I wonder if anybody's around. Kilo Echo 8, November Kilo Zulu. A little bit of noise coming from this here. See if anybody comes back to us. Not hearing anything. But you heard it was a little noisy. But full copy. If anybody came through, it'd be full copy. Not a problem. Wasn't coming in or out. So the next one we're going to try is, what did I have written down here? N8 DUI is the repeater's call sign. November 8, Delta Uniform Yankee. That repeater is also 4.6 miles east, but it's a 2 meter repeater. Frequency is 145.150. And it looks like we had some of the noise source around here on this particular frequency. See, yep, not changing at all. So keep that in mind. All right, let's give it a shout. See if anybody can hear us. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Kilo Zulu, doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Almost no noise at all. This repeater is also over 300 feet up in the air. It's our local Aries and Races and Skywarn repeater. Maybe somebody's there. Sounds like we don't have anybody. But I guess that's what it is. The band's been kind of dead all day long. So the next repeater I have here is WD8 IEL. That repeater is 6.4 miles west of here. So get it here. And that repeater's frequency is 145.45. Again, a 2 meter repeater. So let's give it a shout, see if anybody's around. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Kilo Zulu, doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Again, a little noisy, but still there. See if anybody comes back to us. Nothing heard. All right, let's go to the next one I have here on the list, which is KC LMI. Now this one's also, no, this one's 6.6 miles west. And this one is a 70 centimeter repeater, 145.23. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Kilo Zulu, doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Nothing. You don't get anything on here at all. Again, let's try again. Actually, no, that was the wrong repeater. Scratch what I just said. This is the right one. The frequency is 443.575. Disregard the last 5 seconds. Again, this is my first YouTube video, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Here we've got we got the right one. 443.575. KC8 LMI 6.6 miles west. This is Kilo Echo 8 November Kilo Zulu doing antenna test for a YouTube video. Really staticky. It's dropping out at some points. So pretty staticky. We're probably barely hitting it. All right, so the next one on our list is going to be W8SRC. That repeater is also a 70 centimeter repeater, 446.15. Here we go. This repeater is 6.5 miles. Let's see, 6.5 miles north. So again, north is facing that way out the garage, and see what we get. Also, I happen to know this repeater is 32 feet above ground level. This is KE8NKZ doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Not even a bit. Okay. Let's see. All right, the last repeater on this list is a W8UM, which was the repeater I thought was KC8 LMI before. This is W8UM, which is 8 miles east of us. So the frequency for that is 145.23. Here we go. Let's test it. This is Kilo Echo 8 November Kilo Zulu doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Nothing. We have absolutely nothing coming out of this repeater as well. Let's swap antennas and see what happens with the one we just built. Now let's test the antenna we made. Here we go. Screwed into the radio. Same repeaters. We're going to test them all. I'll announce them as we go. Nice thing about using it's always fun making your own antennas. There we go. It's nice and tight in there. So, alright, so first antenna, or first repeater we're testing. I need an LBV again. Here we go, 443050, same as last time. Here we go. This is Kilo Echo 8 November Kilo Zulu doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. No noise at all. There's no other noise other than the repeater now. Much better received on this side of things. See if anybody comes back. Nobody's around, I guess. Again. Alright, let's go to N8 DUI now. Like we were on before. 145.15. So far, we've done way better. Here we go. This is KE8NKZ doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Again, no other noise on this repeater.
Good evening. And it's 7-3.
Crystal clear. And notice, there's somebody. Sounds like. Maybe not. I guess not, but notice how we don't have that noise again that we were getting in here before. No other static or nothing. Like, oh, I guess it's there now. But we weren't getting any before. And we're still not. We only got it a second there. We're not getting any. I guess we got some there too, but less static than last time. Let's go with that. Okay, again, N8 DUI was 4.6 miles east, like I said, 2 meter repeater. All right, so let's go to WDIEL. 145.45. Like I said, 6.4 miles west. Here we go. Let's give it a shout. This is KE8NKZ doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. A little bit of noise, but not much. Nothing like it was, excuse me, last time, like when we were doing the stock antenna. All right, here we go. Onto KC8 LMI, it looks like here, like I have written down. 6.6 miles west. Here we go. Go down there. Got it right this time. 443.575, 70 centimeter repeater. Here we go. This is Kilo Echo 8, November Kilo Zulu, doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Notice how much less noise there is now with the repeater coming through than there was before. Much better receive. Much better. All right. Now let's go to W8SRC. We were not able to hit this repeater at all before. Keep that in mind. Here we go. 446.150. I remember this repeater was 32 feet above ground level. I remember N8LVV, 300 feet above ground level roughly, and N8DUI, roughly 300 feet above ground level. Here we go. W8SRC. Here we go. This repeater is 6.5 miles north. Here we go. This is KE8NKZ doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. We got it now. It's a little noisy, but we have it.
Lock it in. Break off the knob and let the dog have it.
This repeater's got one of the best commercials, but we were able to hit it now. We weren't able to get nothing before. Nothing. And the noise kind of faded away there that we had at the beginning when it came through. We had nothing before, and now we got that repeater. Let's try W8UM, which I think is 100 feet, if I remember correctly. Somebody told me it was 100 feet above ground level. This one's 8 miles east of us, W8UM. Let's go there. Frequency is 145.230. Here we go. This is KE8NKZ doing an antenna test for a YouTube video. Queen receive there. Sounds real good. Not a problem at all. Sounds real nice. Again, that's 8 miles north. And we had more noise with our stock antenna. So there you guys have it. You can build one of these antennas for next to nothing. And you guys are probably like, K8NKZ, Lorenzo, whoa, why wouldn't I just buy a normal whip antenna that I could just buy and it's similar to yours? Well, there's a few reasons. One, it's going to teach you antenna building skills, and you learned a little bit of science, and you're going to be able to work with some tools that you're going to be working with in your ham radio future if you're new, such as soldering. That's another skill that you're going to be learning here. It's not much, but you're learning something about soldering. Also, this is going to be a lot cheaper. I mean, you can go and get a piece of wire. You probably have some laying around your house that'll work for this for free. You have that for free. And what, an SMA connectors or whatever connector you need for HC is probably no more than $3. You can make this antenna for next to nothing. And a whip antenna is at least going to cost you $10 for one that's actually going to get you somewhere. And people have reported to me that this antenna sounds way better than any whip antenna I have. I have a Nagoya 771. Everybody knows about that antenna. This thing will outperform it, people say. And I can confirm that too. Testing repeaters around here. People say I come in a lot cleaner with this. Sound a lot better. And one of the reasons most likely we do is I have a thicker gauge wire than most whip antennas are made with, and or rubber duck antennas, I guess you'd call them, that you buy for aftermarket. Thicker, so it's more broadbanded, so I have better SWR, and it's a lot cleaner going into there, and that means I can reach repeaters on the higher side and the lower side of the band than I would be able to with a normal just aftermarket whip antenna. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the first one ever. Many more will follow. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is KE8NKZ Lorenzo. Please like and subscribe, because if you're new here, or new to the hobby rather, because again, this is the first video I've ever made, and I thought it'd be nice to show you guys this that you can make at your house. Nice dual band antenna. So like and subscribe. There'll be many more useful videos to follow that I've learned, and what I do to make things easier as a ham radio operator, especially to the new people who are just getting licensed. Appreciate you guys watching this. I'll catch you guys next time. K8NKZ, over. Yep, everybody, I'm 30 miles away from this repeater, and I'm still able to hit it. Right, Kyle? Down in Monroe, Michigan. This repeater's in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I am 30 miles away from it down here in Monroe. 5 watts from this handheld on my homemade antenna.
That is right. I can hear you. You're coming in at full scale on my end. So let me take a video so I can send it to you so you can mesh it all together, because I want to show you that you're coming in at full scale.